Lawrence Kim, but you ain't gonna want to miss this one, guys. So stay tuned and figure out how we can get this. It's going to be a title: "How the Power Hustler Never Dies; He Just Changes Direction." All right. Let me get this trailer going. This should be going live on Facebook, YouTube. I might be doing this on the podcast if you want to listen in your car later on. But stay tuned, guys. You ain't gonna want to miss this one. All right, welcome back to Real Talk, Real Stories, Real Change, and you know what I mean. It's going to be an honor to figure out how we can get you the most best content. I got my special guest all the way from Hawaii, Mr. Lawrence Kim over here, and he'll be popping on in any minute right now. There's Mr. Lawrence Kim at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just want to welcome you. My name is Gordon Watt. I'll be talking to it. Be your own boss opportunity expert, Lawrence Kim here, and the critical skills that every power hustler needs, entrepreneur needs, or any person moving into direction. I'm your host, Gordon Watt, and to be successful at holding on to second chances. That he's got similar background stories as me. In fact, I knew him back in the day. That's why I wanted to bring him on, because I've watched him grow as a man of integrity, powerhouse marketer. He's showing a lot of things with a lot of people. You know, Lawrence Kim is a hands-on expert on the subject of be your own boss opportunity. That's why his shirt says "Be Yobo," which is in Hawaii means something to us because it's Yobo Sayo. A lot of the guys going to get this so much in his podcast, and the acronym means so much to us. Is the exact same thing, and has graciously consented to this interview to share with us the skills every powerhouse entrepreneur, power hustler, and must develop, and to know how to move forward after given that second chance, like me and him was both given, right? That, you know, we can talk about this so much, but I just want to say, Lawrence Kim, thank you again for joining us on this live interview. Let's jump in. All right, Lawrence Kim, how's everything?
Good, man. Good. How's everything over there?
All right, give us a little background about yourself, because I know a lot of my viewers are kind of interested in how you're doing. Where was your second chance given, and what did you do to hold on to that?
All right. So long story short, right? I grew up probably a majority of my life in criminal activities, drug addiction, gambling, and things like that. I was the young kid on the block watching guys like you do their thing. And I had all of those types of role models, right? Guys 10, 20 years like ahead of me in the game that I strive to be like, right? And so as I progressed my way through the streets, like that's who I mirrored my life to be, you know, and that thinking and that like ambition led me to being eventually like in and out of jail, but eventually do 8.5 years in prison from 2007 to 2015.
Right.
And it was there that I had my epiphany. It was there. Ooh. It was there where I actually got my second chance, because even in prison, right? Even in prison, I was still a knucklehead. You know what I mean? Because I was still looking at guys like you in the corner room doing their things, doing their deals, and all the OGs and the gang members. And I had to find my way, because at the end of the day, I am a power hustler. No matter where you drop me in this world, I will find where I fit in and where my opportunity lies, right? And when I'm in the prison world, it's a different world from here. I'm not worried about the outside economics, right? Unless you're going to send me money or answer my calls or anything like that, I don't care, right? In prison is a different world that I need to survive. So while I was there, I was trying to figure that out, right? Drugs, contraband, how to get the cops on our side to smuggle us things, all of that stuff, right? And I got to navigate my way to stay safe, because, I mean, it's a gang world. You gotta know how to survive. You know what I mean? You got to be in or you're out.
Right.
But something happened. I got shipped out to long-term prison. Hawaii is an overcrowded prison population, so they send us on the state side. They send us to Saguaro in Arizona.
Right.
And when I was there, that world was a much more different prison world. It was the same, but it was different. I mean, the attitude was different. It wasn't. It was a place where some of these people have made it their homes already. You're talking about lifers, and you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
all the legends in the streets that no one will ever see anymore, right?
Right.
And so while I'm there, like, it was a little bit different. People walked and talked to it a little bit more respect, and it was a little bit more cleaner. There was a little bit less action going on because we're out of state, right? But it was there like 2 years in. I was sitting in a group. They make you take these like classes and stuff as to make your way out of prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was this guy, and he's one of those like uncles that nobody really pays too much attention to, just one of those ones that on the side just do their own thing, those kinds of guys, right? But he was sitting in the circle with us, and his name is Greg Chun. Old timer from Eva Beach, used to run around in Waikiki and things like that. But he said, and he looked at us, he always, like, the drugs, he make weird faces and stuff when he talk, right? But he said something that I caught, and it blew my mind, because he said, you youngsters sitting around this circle looking at me like, yeah, Unks, he burnt and stuff like that. I tell you what, I was your age, yeah, before, saying the same thing about the same stupid looking old man sitting in the chair over there. And when he said that, everybody laughed, but I took that real serious, because in that moment, I fast forwarded my life 20, 30, 40 years, and I saw myself as an old man in that chair saying the same thing to some new up-and-coming, young, disrespectful punks coming up,
Right.
telling me how to live my life, right? Like, I was like,
Right.
holy shit, like, that's my future. Either that or death is my future.
Right.
And that whole time before that, like, I was planning and plotting, right? Like, okay, cool. I got these Filipino guys. I got the Usos here. I got this gang over here. How can I use all of this stuff to create my new criminal organization when I get out into the street? Like, I had all these master plans, what I'm going to do, right? But it was in that moment I realized, like, oh, this game has limits. This game has a thing. I see people that I respect go the wrong route in our street code, right? They end up
Right.
to a witness and AKA rat or whatever. But like, I see the breaking points of people, and I was like, I don't like see that part of the game. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
witnessing it now from afar. I don't like being that. So it was in that moment that I decided to change, and I started using all of my commissary money and things like that to buy magazines, Fast Company, Entrepreneur, all of these things. I had no idea what any of it meant, but there was this one Uso. His name is Tassi, and he had a book. His parents used to send him books, and it was like Shark Tank books, Barbara Corcoran, and all of those kinds of. And he was like, "Oh, hey, Kim, I think you would like this kind of stuff. Here, read them, right?" And you know how it is. We consume books in there because there's nothing else to do, right? Plus, during that time, I think my TV broke or something, so I had to wait for a commissary anyway. But I was consuming. I was like, "Oh man, this is really cool." So I started watching all of those types of shows and things, and it was years of just reading and consuming and doing all of that. And I started making that my habit. And started talking to people about business things inside of there. You know what I mean? Like, hey, how to run your football tickets, how to run your commentary. Like, I started to try to put it all together. And then fast forward 2015, I got out, and I knew that this is the new path that I'm on. I had no idea where I was going to start or what I was going to do, but that's what I wanted to do.
Right. It's really, really so interesting, because you basically had that epiphany because you fast forward everything into your life. And the same goes to me, because I didn't want to be that old guy doing life in that situation. So when I had that second chance, and I've been blessed to know guys like Lawrence, that I've been watching him move move around, because he actually started digging his well, as just like myself, putting things together. And when he got out and he got given a chance, he just took off. I mean, he's been together with Steve Larson. Steve Larson is one of Russell Brunson's proteges, and he's learning hands on with him, because this is a new game. That's why I said that all we do is change directions, change path. But there's something inside of us that resonates with more than just being a power hustler, or entrepreneur or a boss or whatever you want to call it nowadays. Because a lot of times what I see is a lot of people don't have it in them. What's the difference to you?
So I think I believe something different than a lot of people. How people believe that change is possible, and I know Real Talk is about that and things. But I believe that people don't change too much. I believe that we experience life and we're able to make more choices based on the circumstances given to us and the information fed to us. Like you and I are survivors, whether we're on the streets or whether we're doing the life right now, and we'll always find a way, right? And the difference between people who make it and people who don't, people who make it are not willing to stay down when life knocks them down. They'll pivot and find a way. Like I shared on Facebook or Instagram the other day how like two of my main businesses went zero balance overnight. Zero balance, like in the streets, like means like I got robbed or I lost everything and I'm out of pocket. I'm inside out. I have nothing, right? I'm scheming, right? But
Right.
this happens in real life too, right? I got zero balance. Like, oh, everything's shut down. Waikiki's shut down. Like, that's all real. But what am I going to do about it? Am I just going to sit around and be like, oh, it's over, right? I have no money. I have nothing. No, guys like us get back up and we figure out a way. We go through the streets and we figure out our avenue, where we can get in, where we can fit in, and we make it happen. And I think a lot of people are stuck on, oh, I can't wait for the world to open back up. I'm trying to weather the storm. I'm trying, like, government needs to help us or support small business, right? Like, all this hope thing is great. Hope and positivity is great, but if you don't put action and things like that behind all of the things that you want to happen, nothing's going to happen. This might be our new normal, and people need to understand that for their businesses, for their personal life, for the mental health especially. Like, people need to realize, like, what if this is our new normal? How are you going to accept that? Who do you need to become to navigate in this world? And I think that's what people need to realize instead of sitting around and feeling sorry for themselves.
No,
Because we have
absolutely.
the greatest opportunity every day when we wake up and we have another chance. We're breathing, we get to eat, we get to talk to people, we get to hop on the internet and talk to people across the sea like we're doing right now. I mean,
Exactly. I mean,
incredible, incredible.
it's unbelievable, because I have the same thinking on a situation, because everything that we've been through, whether it's playing around in the streets, finding other people to do our criminality, all we did was shift the game into something positive, and it's the same amount of energy that anybody else. But one of the only thing hope is good for is if you have a release date, and that's the only thing I tell people, guys, that I prepared everything I've done up to this point is to prepare me for what's going to happen tomorrow, the next day. Because let's face it, when you talk to powerhouse entrepreneurs, power couples, people like Lawrence, people that's going to be watching this replay later on in the future, what are you doing that set yourself, so when something like this happens, are you prepared? You mean mentally you can prepare, emotionally you don't know what you're going to do. But one of the books I'm reading right now, that emotional intelligence is, leaders strive to do something better emotionally, so that when shit happens, they're prepared to do anything that they're willing to do. And all we did was pivot the game, right?
Right.
Like one of the things that surprises me about Lawrence is he just keeps hammering, right? And when you match that ambition and you apply, just I this is what I tell most people, Lawrence. I have more you have more energy in your baby toe than you even know you can use possible. You just gotta need to tap into that, whether it's emotional, whether it's anger, right? I mean, when you get angry, nothing's stopping you. That I
Yeah.
already can tell, right? When you want to find something out, there's nothing going to stop you. You're going to be walking through walls, walking all over people, running through people just to find something out, because that's something that's inside of you. And that's what I'm trying to tell a lot of people, is just to tap into that resignation that you have within yourself. You mean all the books you read? Give me some of the books that you read while you was inside, because you was digging your well, compared to how do you apply them now when you had that second chance?
So I read all of the, all of the whatever was available, like the Think and Grow Rich and
Right.
all of the basic entrepreneur like recommendation stuff. And I was reading them all through when I got out too, like even the ones that I'm doing now, like the .com secrets and all of that types of things, personality stuff. I can't really blast off titles right now, but
No, yeah.
here's what I learned about myself from prison to maybe about 2018. I was reading, watching YouTube, watching videos, following influencers, tiptoeing in and out of opportunities and all of that stuff. And I realized, Lawrence, you're a wannabe. You're not taking any action. All you're doing is consuming. You a user. You know what I mean? You're not an entrepreneur. You're a fan of entrepreneurship. You go and buy the books, you watch the videos, you do all this stuff, you get rah, you get hyped up, you buy people's shirts and you do all of this stuff and you talk about all these things on video. You only one fan of entrepreneurship. You wouldn't want to be Lawrence. And so I could hear myself like schooling myself, coaching myself, and talking shit to myself, like, get your ass up and get in the game. Don't just watch the game, get in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like that's like I always got that person inside of me talking shit to myself, like that devil and the angel. I got myself right over there, like yeah. One side already killed the other side. Was like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like one side is already like it already has a gun to my head saying like go now. You know what I mean? Go now. The only other option you have is death. Go. This is plata o plomo. You know what I mean? Gold or lead. Like, go now, Lawrence. This is the time. You don't do it like it's over, right? So, like, I'm always telling myself that. Like, I always have that street mentality, right? Except now, I don't do anything that could get me locked up or set up. And that just makes you almost invincible. If a lot of the people who watch Real Talk, like, might have experience running around in the streets and that thug life and all of that stuff, right? You know how powerful that is? Normal people, right? Normal people in the world, when the world goes to zero or the world has a problem, they stop and they play it safe and they wait for things to return. People like us that were running around in the streets, we have a whole nother set of options that we have, right? That makes us a little bit more dangerous, right? Because we don't have like a stopping place. And so I said, if you can take all of that extra momentum that you have and leverage and willingness of what you're willing to do, but apply it to things that can't get you set up and can't get you put back in prison, man, you're completely unstoppable.
Absolutely.
That power.
I keep telling a lot of people that same like this is like a lot. I used to talk to a lot of ex-felons. I used to go to the mission and I used to tell them, you guys have more than any normal person that used to work a 9 to 5 that has anything to do with anything, because the amount of energy you spend running around, if you just 1/8 of it to do something positive and apply everything that you've learned into something good. And there's going to be more guests on here. You in fact, Lawrence, you're going to know some of them. Some of them did a long time. Some of them is from the streets. And the one thing that stays persistent with it is that drive that nobody else has. When I talk to a lot of people that don't have that, they always ask me, explain that, because this is what they're missing. I said, that's something you got to live through. That is something you have to experience for yourself. And not many people come back from that mentally, emotionally, you know what I mean? And all of that good stuff, because a lot of times it doesn't just take somebody in that sense and the experience to gain the wisdom, right? It's just finding the signs, moving in the direction that you want to go because of what you're processing for the next day, tomorrow. Because let's face it, we think 5 steps ahead, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you another question. Um, where was your rock bottom?
Okay, so this is good. Maybe it might be a little bit. Maybe it might be a little bit graphic for some
Hey,
people. So
we like
pay
graphic. This is
attention.
real talk, bro.
Okay, so I say prison was a blessing for me, right? Because I learned a lot about myself inside of there. And what
Hmm.
you're talking about now, rock bottom, right? I was in the holding unit. Holding unit, for those of you guys don't know, you make trouble, you break the law in prison, they put you in a separate prison within the prison, and you're just stuck like 23 hours a day inside of a small little room. If you're lucky, it's an overcrowded place and you'll get a roommate, which I am lucky. I had a roommate. So I'm in the holding unit, right? 90 days. And in the holding unit, we had nothing. We have like a little washcloth. We have like this little bar of soap, little toothbrush, like small toothbrush. And we really don't have anything in there. At that time, my roommate was an old timer, an old man. I don't want to say his name because of the story where it's about to go. But
Right.
old man unks, like I really had a lot of respect and love for him, right? But
Hmm.
he had a lot of health problems and health issues and things like that, right? One of these days he had like some kind of a stomach problem, and he was pressing the button to go to the medical unit, like, oh, I need help. And so they take a long time to come and get you when you're in the hole, but they finally came and got him, right? Right before they came to get him, he got up, he almost fell down, ran to the toilet area, dropped his pants, and he shit all over the place. Like it missed, like I said, he missed, like he dropped the load on everything except the toilet.
Right.
And
Okay.
it was like explosive. It went everywhere, right? Now, at that exact moment, I have a point. At that exact moment, the cops came and got him and took him to the medical unit. So now I am stuck in a room with shit all over the place.
Oh,
Okay. I'm knocking on the door. The cops just escorted him out. There's nobody to send me anything. I have nothing to clean anything with. Right.
oh
So
man.
what do I do? This is like the world right now, right? What do I do? Am I going to sit there and like, oh, it stink. Hey, help me, get me out of this room. Am I going to just keep doing that and sound silly, or am I going to do something about it? Right? I have two choices. I chose to do something about it.
Of course.
I got in, I wiped up that shit with my bare hands. I like whatever was big. Hey, I put them in the toilet. I flushed it. I took my only washcloth and whatever shampoo I had, cleaned as much as I could. I'm living in this room. I have no escape. I can't go anywhere. Cleaned that room and did everything that I had to do until later on in the day. I got to get some chemicals and do all of that and clean it. But the point is, that's like the world that we are in right now, right? There's
Yeah.
shit all over our walls, and we're stuck in whatever situation we're in. What are you going to do about it? Sit there and just complain and deal with all the things that are going on? Or are you going to figure out a way to fix it? Are you going to do what needs to be done to get that shit cleaned up? Right? I
So
am willing
important.
to do it no matter what it is. Like I said, I did it with my bare hands. And it was in that moment, like, I know people ask me, like, oh, when was your rock bottom? That was a pretty rock bottom moment. But I know that, like, a lot of people wouldn't do that too, right? But when you faced, like, you should always think, I have no choice, right? Whatever the thing is that you need to do, tell yourself that you have no choice. You have to do it and
Right.
do it. You know what I mean? And that's how I move through life. Every time I don't know the situation, or I feel stuck, or I feel trapped, I take myself back to that room, shit on the wall, smell everywhere, nobody to help me. I take myself back to that mental state, and I just get myself to do it, to do whatever's uncomfortable at that moment. I get myself to take action. And I think that's been huge for me. That rock bottom moment, you know what I mean? It really opened up my eyes about, okay, cool. I was willing to do that. I mean, I got my hands dirty. I'm willing to put in whatever I need to put in. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely. I mean,
really,
it is that I can tell people my rock bottom day after day because I was, it seems some that similar situation wasn't as smelly, but my life, I really thought my life was going to end at 2006 because I just ended up smashing up somebody in the FCI. They got me back on the softball field, broke my leg,
Mm.
right? So I was famous for being for okay. So they moved dorm because I was in another dorm. You know how other boys they protect you. They moved me in the dorm where this race was right there, and I'm in the middle of this two gorilla monster
Mm.
black guy. And it's like if they was gonna come and get me, this was the time. I was immobile.
That was the moment.
That was the moment I was like, shit, this is where things gotta change right now. That was my moment. I mean, this is like a one Ray Lewis looking guy on my left, big, 6'4", yoked up, mean, gangbanger from LA, right? On my right, another one. I'm like, this is gonna be it. This is back in 2006, and this is where I like you said, I grabbed the books, I started digging my well, I read the psychology, I read marketing, I read all these books was getting sent to me. So when the time came, I could apply all of this to the situation I was going to be put in going through that time. And all I did was apply everything. In fact, some of the times when we came out, there was YouTube videos, like you said. I'd be watching them all again. But then like the key moment you said is like, I was just like, earner and affiliate marketing, did this, did all of this, did stuff with these other guys, did stuff. But I wanted to become my opportunity. I wanted to become the situation where I became the product. And that's what you did. And let's talk about that because it's like that Be Yobo was so catchy to me, right? Be your own boss opportunity. It kind of resonated with me. So later on, you became that. How did all those struggles turn that opportunity for you into
So
what you got going on?
so as I'm in this world, like I'm still new in this world, right? Like I started my journey in this internet marketing thing like 2018 or whatever. And I I got burnt out really quickly because I was so hyped up about everything. And everybody that I talk to is always trying to cram like some new opportunity to me, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to sell your oil stuff. I don't want to be a travel agent. I don't want to try your new diet thing and sell it to my friends and family and all of that stuff. Respect, respect. Do what you do. But like I don't want to do that. I don't
Right.
like I mean that's not my thing. And so I in and out of that, wasting months and months and hours of my time going to lunches and coffees, and everything was the same thing. Like, oh, here, sign up a couple of friends, do this. I was like, oh my god, like there's got to be a better thing out there. And I kind of shelved that on the side and went into this ClickFunnels world, and I
Mhm.
had early lucky successes, and the world shut down. So April or May, I was completely shut down. Didn't have anything to do, and I'm sitting around like everybody else trying to figure it out. But I'm online, and only thing I have is all these opportunities. Oh yeah, sell my oil, sell my skin cream, sell this diet thing or whatever. I was like, oh my god, like there's got to be something else. And so I was like, Yobo, right? I need to create a new brand. I sat around and I was like, okay, Yobo, be Yobo. I toyed around. I'm not all hardcore into it like how you are, but I'm watching you just like I was when I was a kid with Real Talk and the podcast and all that. I'm watching you. I tiptoed into that world with the Yobo podcast and something like
I
that.
love
Like
it.
I haven't been as diligently in that, but it was in that moment I was like, okay, Yobo, what can that mean? And I was like, oh, cool, your own business opportunity. How can I create something that's like your own business opportunity? So August 4th, I sat around and all of these like the world is like really getting like nasty in Hawaii. Everyone's kind of really stressing out. I had a homie who he didn't commit suicide, but he overdosed and he was just in a bad mental place. And I was like, oh, we got to do something. And so August 4th, I decided to document an experiment. I said like, hey, can I make money online without a job in the middle of a pandemic? But I got to be specific and give myself a timeline. Otherwise, this thing will kind of run amok, and then like I won't stay on top of it like I did with the podcast and things like that. So I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna give myself 60 days. Okay, cool. I think I can make 5-10 grand in 60 days. But let's double that and try to go a little bit more aggressive. Like I don't want it to be something that's easy for me. I want to like be uncomfortable and journey into different places and possibly fail. I most likely won't make it if I stop or I lose momentum because I'm time based. And so I said specifically, can I make $20,000 in 60 days without a job in the middle of a global pandemic? August 4th, go. And I started documenting. Today's day 32 of the experiment. Today is September 5th. Day 32 of the experiment. About almost $10,000 in sales.
Yeah.
Profit is about probably like 6,000, but almost $10,000 in gross sales. And I'm trying to do it as simple as possible so that people could follow along and do it at home too. You know what I mean? For themselves. I'm trying to not do the funnels and the Facebook ads and all of that stuff. I will be doing that. Otherwise, I'll never hit my goal. But I want people to see that, like, even without all of those things, you can stay at home. Most of you guys are staying at home hours and hours and hours on social media anyway. So I get about like $180 to $200 steady every single day just from my local Facebook marketplace. You know what I mean? Selling my own item.
Right.
Some of you guys will see what it actually is someday, but make your own item and sell it. But that's what kind of my thing is right now. Be your own business opportunity, something that's sort of being born right now. And I have like a couple of people in my group that I am trying to help them get started, get going, and a lot of good people in there. They're not from the internet marketing world, and it'll be a good side experiment for me to see if I can take people from full-time workers, full-time working people, and turn them into like their own side hustle, their own business opportunity from home. And then maybe later on I can leverage those testimonials and inspire more people to take action and be Yobo.
Oh, I mean, for us in Hawaii, being Yobo means something. It means Korean, guys. For all you guys going to be watching this on the replay and listening to the podcast, it's going to be funny because we call all Koreans Yobo. So he took his culture, his heritage, and turned it into an acronym that he could brand. And with his experiment, I'm in his Facebook group. I got his product. It's really cool. And he can be able to scale that. And the glory of this is you can do that with any product, because with anything that he's documented the part where he's going to Alibaba, where he's getting the product from, what he had to go through it, what he had to do, change the logo, go through this bullshit with these Chinese people that don't have to do anything, get the product, start hustling on the street, running Facebook ads. In fact, some of the Instagram ads I was watching, I said, look at this, man. I said, like, this thing is smoking right here. So, but I was really, really just so happy for Lawrence, because he's just one of many like you that can actually do things for yourself in case the situation just happened, right? Now, let me ask you this. How does what you did in the past made you so much better for where you are in the present?
So everything that I've experienced in this life, especially running around in the streets and things like that, like I like, you read psychology books and like that, right?
Yeah.
But you was always with the G's and all that stuff. So you had to learn that stuff, right? I wasn't. So I had my psychology training was hands-on, because I had to survive guys like you guys in prison. You know what I mean? I had to find how I could navigate and find my own way, because I'm not a gang member type of guy. I'm not that guy who's going to go run up in your room and put you out. I'm not that kind of guy. You know what I mean? I'm a different type of criminal. And so my own psychology was figuring out how I'm not going to get taxed and jacked along the way. And so I'm always looking for ways that I can be safe and scale and grow.
Right.
When I take that mentality and I apply it to this life, I look at, okay, cool. How do I get the best product? How do I get my own product, something that I stand by? How do I add
Right.
credibility to it? I better know everything about it. How do I get the connect, right? How do I
Yep.
get the best connect? Not the middleman. I want the connect. I
Yeah.
want the guy in Vegas, right? I want the
What? Wait.
guy.
What?
I want the Yobo line, the Korean line.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I
Yes.
want the best. And so I seek that. How do I do that? And and the best is really just a perception of you standing separately from what the majority of the market is, right?
Mm-hmm.
In our world, they call it the red ocean, blue ocean. Red ocean is a feeding frenzy of the same opportunity. Like when you go into these MLM or network marketing groups, right? They got all of these like room full of people all hyped up to become like millionaire entrepreneurs or whatever, but they're all networking with people who are all selling the same thing. Every single person. So most of you guys never going to be able to sell anything that you're spending all of your time with. How do you set yourself apart, make yourself different, and stand out in a crowd of everybody who looks the same,
Right.
right? And that's the same thing, right? When I'm in the streets, like I need to be with the cool kids. I need to be running around with the guys with the stuff. I need to be that. I need to be in that inner group, right? But in this world, in the regular world, you have to create your inner group. You have to create your tribe. You have to create like your own little thing and your own momentum and give. You in this world you have to give. In the other world we take. In
Yep.
this world you have to give in order to grow. And so the more people that you can grow under you, the higher they raise you up. In the other world, right? We take, right? And it's just flipping the game. Okay, now I got to give, grow, all you guys, and then it rises me up. And so it's just flipping the game. It's the exact same game, exact same momentum. We
Exact.
play by the same rules, except in this world, I can't get locked up or nobody's gonna set me up for anything, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference. Like I said in the beginning of this interview, my belief is that people don't actually change. We take the information given through our life experiences and we consciously make a choice of how to move from there. When I was young, watching guys like G and stuff, like I didn't have all the information of the people that I met in prison. I didn't have all of that yet. All I saw was the guys running the streets. All I saw was the guys with the guns, the girls, and all the money and everything like that. That's what I saw, and that's what I wanted to be. I
Right.
didn't have all the other information of like the dirt and the work that needs to be put in. I didn't have any of the information of what that prison time and prison life looked like. I didn't have information of all the people in their lives who are hurt by what they're doing in their life. I didn't have any of that information. All I saw was what I saw. I was
Right.
like, oh, I need to be like those hombres. You know what I mean? Like I gotta become like that. But it took me all of that time, 8, 10, 20, like all those years to figure out, oh, I need the whole story. And now I have that information. I have that experience. Now I can make the decisions like, okay, cool. I need to move accordingly with what I know now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's that's basically how I move. You know what I mean? I watch, I observe, and then I figure out like what's the best step for me. What's the best next step for me?
Absolutely. Even I'm going to tell you. Let's be real. I'm going to be really, really honest with you, Lawrence. Right. The way I am right now, because I set a bad example for people like you. How much families I destroyed in Hawaii. What the crap I did in Hawaii. That's why I never did get back. The reason why I do what I am now, why, like you said, I keep giving, I keep giving, I keep giving, I keep dropping hints online because I have the ability to just keep going. There's one thing that to be able to redeem myself because I was given a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. You know my background. I wanted to be an inspiration and a way for people like you that may have seen me do wrong to move into a better life where I can lift you up to a better place, because I have a lot of redemption to do, right? And you know firsthand the crap I've used. So it's like, and I'm in a blessed place. You mean to be able to be with the, you see me with the guys I've been with online, telling your exact that's type of story. And a lot of the times it's I've changed in the process because of what you give, what all the Lawrences give to me. And even like my other groups that I'm in, they always ask me like, what, you're different from everybody else. I said, because I have a servant heart and I serve people in a different way now, so that I can push people up. Because like you said, I've been taking all my life. Take. Give was never an option, right? It's either I'm taking, robbing, stealing, conning, or figuring out a way to finagle something out of you. And now to flip the whole script around, so that at least things can be like you said. Look, even like look, Ricky Leva right here just come. That's one of ClickFunnels guys. We're talking about that, understanding that to be able from a place of crap, to be able to come out of that, literally push people up, be an inspiration, an example, so that others can do the same thing with just our stories. It can help later on in the future. You know what I mean? Let me ask you this another question. Where do you see power hustlers, entrepreneurs, wannabes wasting a lot of time by trying to be their own boss?
So, like I said, where I was wasting a lot of time, and I know a lot of people waste a lot of time, is in the consumption of the material. Like they try to they read all the books, watch all the videos, follow all the influencers, and then they try to compare with the next step they need to do with whoever they're fanboying on right now. And that person is already put 10, 15, 20 years into the game, and you're trying to compare yourself right now to where they are right now, and it stops you from overwhelm and momentum to even get started. You know what I mean? And so, like, a lot of the people that I work with right now in the 2 Comma Club X and all of that stuff, like, they talk about, like, oh, how do you get all of these boxes and all of these things that Russell Brunson does? Hey, you just getting started, bruh.
Yeah.
You know, go back and look at what Russell Brunson was 10 years ago. You know, he's not building like leads. He didn't have books, and he didn't have any of that kind of stuff.
Nothing.
You don't have that either yet. I go
Nothing.
back to when he was doing like the .com secrets lab and his newsletter and all of these things. Like, he was basically giving you a newsletter as the lead. He was sending you a piece of paper in the mail with a DVD. Like, do stuff like that. Like, know people's journey. Watch the history of somebody's evolution and see where you are right now, and fit yourself in and follow in their footsteps. Don't try to be an OG from day one in the streets. You know what I mean? It's never gonna happen.
Mhm.
You gotta walk the walk before you can be that thing. You know, a lot of you work with kids and things like that, right?
I work with a lot.
I tell a lot of people, and the biggest red flag I have is I'm meeting a lot of these like 18 to 22-year-old like entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out their way in the world, and they all follow the wrong examples, and they take things out of context. Like, they listen to people like Gary Vee and things like that, and they say like, oh yeah, school is like for nonsense, or you don't learn about anything. Yeah, that's true. But school is important too. You know why school is important? Because when you go to school, you meet people, you get that piece of paper and all of that stuff that helps you have an easier entry point into the world, right? A lot of people are not built like me or Gordon or people who live the life that we lived. And we had to pay for that. We
Oh,
had to
dearly.
pay 10, 20, 30 years of our life to learn this stuff. We had to physically, mentally get abused to figure all of this stuff out. All you got to do is put in 4 to 8 years and get a piece of paper, and you'll be the first person people see when you go out into the world. I have to be like this every single day because I don't live that life. I never went to school, never got the paper. And so guys like us always have to prove ourselves, always have to be the underdog, always have to do that as we navigate through this world, right? If you don't have that resilience inside of you, then you better go to school and get that paper. You better put on that suit, and get your way into the door, make your way in, right? This other life is a good degree too, but it takes so much of your life to get it.
Oh
And
yeah,
what I'm trying to tell people is like, look, what is 4 years of a life to have an easier like entry point? Like I don't have that entry point. I go and all of the places that hire me for consulting and things like that now, like the first thing they ask me, oh, where did you go to school? Where did you go? I went to the hard knocks, you know what I mean? And so now I work with companies like that. I work with like the Waikiki Trolley, Enola Corporation, like world recognized brands. And when people ask me how I got there, it's just like
Oh,
just
that's
through
a whole
blood,
nother
sweat,
story.
and tears. Blood,
I
sweat,
thought,
and tears. That's how I got here.
yeah, yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
that's a whole nother story. We might have to bring on Lawrence again for that one story, because that story is just incredible. But it really goes to show that you can do something. In fact, next week I might have the personal coaches of coaches, the lifestyle coaches, and it's just, you don't need a degree to be a coach, to be a consultant. You just have to have experience, wisdom, empathy, and be able to relate to people and network, right? Um, Before time gets going on, I want you to answer this simple question, right? Um, any tips for time management? Wait, maybe how I'm going to rephrase this. Any tips about time management that you've learned from the past to now that can help anybody listening to this on the podcast, or streaming on YouTube?
So I am a number one procrastinator. I waste so much time if I give myself the opportunity to have that. If I give myself the opportunity to scroll through social media, I'll be looking at stupid stuff all day long. And for time management, I'm a creature of pride and ego and things like that, and stuff that like those are some of my faulty like personality traits, but I have to own them. I have to own them as my strengths because I can't change.
Yep.
I am who I am. And so because I'm a creature of pride and ego and things like that, for time management, I need to put it out into the world, time sensitive, specifically what I'm going to do.
Love it.
And then I put it out publicly, right? Just like with the Power Hustler Bootcamp movement, I say, I'm going to make $20,000 in 60 days. And here's the start date. And here's where I am now. And putting that up on my wall. So every day I wake up, I'm like, oh man, time is running out. Like, get to it, Lawrence. Like, you're full of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get this done. Look, you know what I mean? Like, whew, you're only halfway there. How are you going to make this other half? Like, I don't know. I'm figuring it out as I go. But time management for me is putting myself, like I said, I got that devil and the angel on the shoulder, right? One side is already dead. The other one has a gun to my head saying, like, now or never. Get in that door and go. Like, I am strong arming myself to walk through that door every single day. Every single day, I wake up and I'm unsure, uncertain, and I want to be comfortable. I want to sit on my couch. I want to look through social media. I want to watch Netflix. I want to do all of these things. But I got that guy with the gun to my head telling me, go, walk. You know what I mean? And that's me telling myself, like, you don't have time. Go. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how I do time management, because I'm the number one procrastinator. Like, I waste so much time on social media on nonsense, right? I had to erase all of the things on my Instagram. I'm a guy. I look at girls and all that stuff, like wasting my time. I erased every single girl, all the eye candy, all the things, all the people that I want to see what's going on in their life. When I want to see what's going on with Gordon and Andrea and their baby, I physically type the name in and look it up. And I feel like for me, that's more of a, conscience, like, I was thinking about that person. You know what I mean? I look them up. And so that sometimes I tell my friends, like, hey, take your profile off of private, because sometimes I check up on you. You know what I mean? But they go, why don't you just follow me? I said, no, because then I waste a lot of my time. Right. But I physically check up on people and see what they're up to and do all of that. And that's how I know, like, that person's on my mind and important to me. And then I reach out, because nowadays I don't really reach out much. So now I try to reach out and connect on a more human level. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got, I'm going to give you you got a Ricky Lavo over here. He's the funnel scripts guy that's sharing his funnels. Guys, if you're not into here's a promo. Ricky, here's a promo for you. if you're on funnel scripts, you're looking for funnels, reach out to Ricky Leva right here because he's the funnel scripts that they're sharing, the funnels they're sharing on ClickFunnels is made by him, and his stuff is clean. You know what I mean? I mean, Lawrence Kim is a big proponent. In fact, he's a Steve Larson protege. Steve Larson is a Russell protege. I'm a Jim Edwards protege. So it's like, get with him. I just want to put a shout out, guys. I just want to, Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence, for a great interview. I'm sure all the power hustlers, entrepreneurs in our audience have a much clearer understanding of what's going on, what is necessary, and how can they reach you in case they. I want them to listen to your podcast. I want them to follow you on your from because guys, he made half of that 20,000 because I've been watching him because he documented everything. That's the only thing me and Desiree didn't do. Watch that. How can we reach you?
So right now, I'm fully engaged into my experiment right now. So www.powerhustlerbootcamp.com. I'm in the middle of that experiment. How can I make $20,000 in 60 days? And I'm documenting it all the way. I'm hoping to use this as a platform for later on building out a course or something as a how-to video. But right now, it's just a behind the scenes of me going through the process of making a physical product, selling it, making money. And I don't know if I will or will not hit the goal, but I mean, that's what the game is right now. And I'm 100% all in on that.
No, I mean, he's going to hit the goal regardless of what, because that's the type of guy he is. You mean, I just wanted to say thank you to the power hustler, Mr. B Yobo, be your own opportunity, be your own boss opportunity. And guys, if you like this type of content, please like, share, give me a comment on whether you're watching this on the YouTube. I'll be probably putting this on the podcast later on. What was the name of your podcast? You didn't give the podcast.
So the Yobo podcast, and like I shared, because I have too many things going on, like that thing fell off and turned into Be Yobo in the experiment I'm in now. So the Yobo podcast is something that is on Spotify and Apple iTunes and things like that. I will get to it, I promise.
There you go. See, I'm pushing him in the right direction already, right? All right, please leave us a comment. It was just such a pleasure to watch you grow. I'm going to have to bring you back on. Stay tuned next week, next Saturday, same time, same place, because I'll be bringing you all kind of different speakers, guest interview, things that everybody deserves a second chance. And like me, Lawrence, and all my speakers, we hold on to that dearly because when you're in a situation where you want to move on, that second chance means a lot. And if we can provide that information for you that can push you in that right direction, whatever path you're on, right? Like Lawrence said, we never change. We just change the direction. That's all it is. And that can be your special power. Please give us a thumbs up.
Before we end, I got something.
Yeah.
Everybody that joined us live today, I'm going to send Gordon a link so that you can join me behind the scenes of what I'm doing. You don't have to pay or anything like that. You can join. I'm going to send Gordon the link, and he'll send that over to you guys so you can join us in the Be Yobo movement as I'm going through it. So thank you for joining us live. We really appreciate your time.
All right, Lawrence, have a good day. Guys, if he's going to send me the link, so it's going to be Julie, Ricky, and Marie. And there's like 3 of us right here right now because I know a lot of people is going to watch this on the replay anyway. But this is the momentum we're going to. Please give us a thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube. Subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, you missed out.
Watch him live because you never know what you may get.
Hey, you never know because I got a lot to give. All right, brother. You have a good day. Aloha.
Right,
I'll catch you next. I'll bring you on again. All right.